What is up, everybody? Welcome to Sales Stories in Real Life, episode 18. This is the show where professional salespeople share their story on times that they were in the buyer's seat and they were being sold to. Today's guest is infamous in the sales world, the former #1 AE at Salesforce. He is now running a successful coaching business, Ian Koniak Sales Coaching. Ian, welcome to the show. So excited to have you here. I hear you had a really interesting experience when you were looking for a sales mastermind group. What happened there, Ian?
Well, what's interesting is I wasn't actually looking for a sales mastermind group. Okay. I had been watching content. So for anyone who doesn't know what a sales mastermind is, I run one, Marcus Chan runs one. It's basically a group of people that are peers and colleagues that are masterminding together to try and improve their performance. So it's usually led by somebody who's done the job at the highest level, and then it's a group of peers, and you meet every week, and you have Q&As, and you have trainings, and you're part of this membership. Usually for a year is the typical length. So I had been part of masterminds, for the past 6 years. I started my escalation of my performance when I joined a mastermind, and when I started investing in myself. My income went from $250,000 to an average of $750K after spending money on a mastermind. I paid 20 grand. So you could see the return was over 10x. And I never look back. So every year I always look at, masterminds that I can join for enhancing my own success. And this year I was my first full year as a entrepreneur or solopreneur. And I was looking to scale my business and take it to the next level, also to build out a team. And I was previously in a group called Brand Builders Group, and they did a great job kind of getting me started and getting me to this point, but I really wanted to take it the next level. And so there was a guy that I followed on YouTube named Sam Ovens. And Sam Ovens is kind of the guru, the main guru for coaches to scale their business, or for anyone who sells kind of an info product, an online course or whatnot. And some of the most successful entrepreneurs that are running, in some cases, $30 million businesses annually came out of Sam Ovens' program and are in this program. So it's about 99 founders. Well, I didn't know any of this at the time. I didn't even know this existed. So I was watching one of Sam's YouTube videos, and he started talking about the future of info products and how people are moving away from courses, online courses, and moving towards masterminds and peer communities that are more to build the community. And at the end of this video, he said, hey, I have some spots open in my mastermind. Click here if you want to talk to someone about it and see if it's a fit. So I had watched the whole video because it was an educational content. And then I didn't even know I was being sold to. I honestly didn't. It was like the video was so good and it was so valuable that at the end, it was logical that whoa, okay. And he just actually did one more of these, and he ended up selling $3 million from this video just in one launch. So just to give you perspective of how many people signed up because of this approach. He's got a huge audience. His email newsletter is almost 1 million subscribers because of how long he's been doing this. But anyway, to make a long story short, I clicked the link and I hopped on a call, and I had a sales interaction with Nick. And Nick was just straight up. He asked me about my business, where I was, what I was looking to grow. He asked me why I wanted to grow. He asked me why I took the call. It was all about me and my vision. And then at the end, he just said, look, it sounds like a great fit. Here's the program. Here's what it costs. But there's a challenge right now, is that we're full. Right? We only have 100 spots, and we filled up pretty quick. So if you want to do this, you're going to have to, I'll let you know if there's spots available, because I have some people coming up for renewal next month, but I don't know if we can get you in. It depends if they renew or not. So I'm like, okay, that sounds good. Zero pressure whatsoever. Right. And it was all about, I convinced myself I wanted to be in the program. It sounded like a good fit. Well, he dropped the price tag on me. It was $36,000. And that was more than any mastermind I had invested in before, pretty significant. And if I did a payment plan, it would have been 42,000. So that was the upfront cash price. And so I'm like, well, I still want to do this. For me, $36,000 isn't going to break the bank or anything like that. So, but it was still, it was still a chunk of change. So I didn't really have to think about it. I think the most successful people are the ones that are decisive, that take action. I see that in my program all the time. The people who fork out money on the spot and invest are the ones that get results because they're go-getters, they're action takers. And that's the way I am. So I was really just waiting on, is there going to be a spot? So he calls me back a couple weeks later. He says, hey, good news. We got a couple spots. Do you want to sign up? Or do you want to talk about it more? And I'm like, yeah, count me in. He sends me the credit card link. I call my credit card to up the limit so I can put it on a credit card. And that was that. Now, the other thing is, before I signed up, I said, I can't actually start until June, right? Because I'm launching my own product in May, and I just want to get my launch done because I don't want to go in this program and have my mind distracted with my own launch and my own priorities. So my head will be clear in June. And I also want to talk to them about the launch and get best practices and learn from them, after the launch, what I can do differently, having that experience. And he said, that's fine. I'll just move your start date to June. And he did. He made it super easy. We put it on my credit card. And then I find out that there was kind of a bait and switch. So I joined the program, and then I find out that one of the reasons I joined was to get a one-on-one with Sam Ovens, an onboarding call with him. And then I found out that's no longer included with the new program. But when I signed up, it was on the checkout page, it was included. So I told my rep, I'm like, hey, can we get this scheduled? And he was super flexible. He's like, yeah, technically you bought it when that was part of the package, even though it's not anymore. So we'll squeeze you in and do it. And he said, Sam can't do it until July. Is that okay? Because he's got his own launch he's working on. I'm like, yeah, that's fine. So I had the one-on-one with Sam. I joined the program. I went to 2 of their events already. Now we're in October, and it's been a great experience. And honestly, like the reason I bring this one up is because it was my decision to join. No one was trying to connive me. No one, he told me, look, I don't want you to do this if it's not a good fit for you, but it sounds like this is exactly what you need. Tell me how you're feeling about it. I'm like, I feel great. He's like, do you want to do it? I'm like, yeah, if spots open up, call me first. So this idea of no pressure closing and really just guiding people to, the solution that you have in a way that is really just more consultative, understanding where they are, where they want to go, what's stopping them, what challenges they're facing, what they're hoping to get out of the program. Really having that conversation, especially if you sell any type of consulting or coaching services is super effective. And having been on the receiving end of that and then paid up front for that program, I can tell you it felt really good not to be pressured into doing something that I might not want to do otherwise.
Well, first off, there's an incredible amount of irony here because you run your own coaching program, right? And now you're having someone pitch you on a coaching program. So obviously, if you're being sold to, you're acutely aware of it. And this is also a very micro portion of the exposure that you had to Sam and his team, right? You have been watching his YouTube videos for quite a while, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
A whole lot of nurturing that was involved, right? It wasn't just a quick one call close, right? There was so much nurturing that went into there. So I guess what could you kind of speak on that, right? As we see video content on the rise, right? People giving education away for free in order to bring people towards them, and especially with your experiences, what are you seeing there?
So 2 things. Number one is I knew what I was looking for, so it made the purchase easy. I wanted someone who helped new coaches scale and achieve what's called 7-figure Zen. So 7-figure Zen, making 7 figures, but not at the cost of your family, your health, and all the things that I value most. So that had a nice appeal to me. And those are the people in the program. They want that 7-figure Zen. It's only 99 founders. So it was pretty exclusive. There was a cap on the membership that made it more exclusive. It's like, I wanted to be in this. I wanted to be one of the 100. It was very interesting. Scarcity works, right? So if you think you can get it anytime, any place, anywhere, it makes it less compelling. That's why Black Friday still does pretty well, with all the pushing it out earlier in the weeks, it still does really well for a lot of retailers because people think they're getting the best deal. So scarcity is valuable. Now, the other thing you called out, which I think is brilliant, is basically, I had watched Sam's videos starting a year or 2 before. I had also heard his name come up from other people that said they were mentored by him and they were starting their own masterminds like mine. And it's like he seemed to be this think tank or this kind of launch pad for all of these programs that were doing really well. So he was the source, and I'm like, I gotta work with this guy. And then I talked to my mentor, and I told him I'm thinking of working with Sam Evans. Like, oh, Sam Evans is the OG. He's the original guy. And even us talking about him now, people will look him up. And but I had built a relationship with him without ever talking to him or his team, just through watching his videos. And if you look at Sam's videos, and if you look at what's on his YouTube, he's not driving a Lambo. He's not going around in jets. He's not like showing off. He's very like cerebral, not your typical. He's just really smart. And I like the way he thinks, and it resonated. So if you're making videos that share the way you think and getting like content that appeals, honestly, those are all your prospects. You're not going to do prospecting and outbound if your outbound is the creation of videos. And I've been doing that for years. When I launched my mastermind sold out within 2 days. I did a $500,000 launch in my first year, which honestly is unheard of. I don't know of any other consultants out of the millions that are doing that have done what I've done. I don't say that to brag. I say it because the strategy that I had was I spent years just posting videos on YouTube and on LinkedIn and on my blog and newsletter, and just sending out value, giving out value, giving out value. So by the time I actually had a product to launch, like, people were ripe, they were ready, they trusted me, they knew me. So a lot of people forked out their credit card and basically just paid, $12,000 was the price that I charged for my mastermind online on a credit card without ever speaking to me, which I found mind blowing. But then, to your point, like, they felt like they knew me already, they trusted me, and they wanted to work with me. So the power of content marketing and the power of like building your brand is really something that I have experienced firsthand. And I think anyone who wants to be a coach or consultant, and I think all of you should, if that's something you want to do, because even if it might mean competition, for me, it honestly doesn't matter, because I feel like the world needs people helping and serving, and it's just very fulfilling to do that line of work. It really is. So I'd encourage anyone to do it, but if you want to do it, you need to do it the right way. And the right way is build your audience first, put out content, find your tribe, and then sell them something when you have something available, versus building a product without an audience. And I think that's really a recipe for failing pretty quickly.
Whew, that's so good. And I've been very fortunate, Ian. You and I have done some training runs for your marathon. I've hung out with you at your house, in your backyard, and I know from experience you're a very methodical and a very calculated guy. So I want to dig into something that you said earlier
I am.
about the no pressure closing, right? Because you've closed some sizable deals at Salesforce, right, to say the least. So if somebody was listening to this right now, and let's say their technique of closing is to put pressure, but they feel like that's the only way to close a big deal, right? Like, they just can't let go of that urge, right, to kind of pressure into a close. What would you say to someone like that that's listening?
I'd say happy journey on the way down to a slump. If you're in enterprise sales, you're going to fail very quickly. That might work for transactional. That might work for if you're doing high volume, get them quick, get them out, right? Yeah, I get it. It's like, you don't want to waste your time. You don't want to waste their time. If look, I sold to the enterprise for 9 years at Salesforce. I sold to very large companies. There's not one decision maker. There are sometimes 5, 10, 20 decision makers that span across IT and finance and the line of business and operations, and there's committees and boards, and it just doesn't work that way. So you're pressuring someone who can't sign. They have to go to purchasing, they have to go to legal, they have to go to other people. So you're better off understanding their decision process, understanding who the key players, making sure you meet with those players. Otherwise, you're just going to fail. Maybe you'll sell some small transactional deals, but you're not going to get the 7-figure deal done. It doesn't work that way. And again, happy trails for your plummet to the bottom, because that's where you're going to go. It doesn't work in the enterprise. I know from experience. I was a hard closer at Rico. I spent, a long time selling copiers and printers, and it's like, what do we got to do to get you in the printer today? If I gave it to you, I used to say this, if I gave it to you for $1, I'm not kidding, would you still have to think about it? If they say think about it, and they say, no, of course not. It's like, okay. So what you're really saying is it's the price you need to think about, right? And they'd say, yeah. I say, okay, so surely there's a place between $1 and where we are now that would make sense. Would you agree? Like, I used all that shit, and I'm telling you, like, that's not the way people buy software. It's not the way people buy consulting, right? That's just going to come across as slimy and cheesy. And, when I took that approach to Salesforce, I ended up missing my quota for many years in a row, because I think people can read pretty quickly what your intentions are, and they can see your intention is just to close them and you're out for yourself. Bye-bye, not going to want to work. But when they know your intention is to help, the whole idea of no pressure selling is like, understand who you're talking to, what their challenges are, what their pains are. And if and only if you can help them, then you pitch, right? That's the idea behind no pressure closing. Is like, let's just spend time. And there's a guy I'm speaking on a panel with tonight. His name is Josh Braun. And he has, I think he's blown up on TikTok and some media stuff. He's pretty big in the space. And I read his thing and he's like, it's the same thing. It's like no pressure closing. Like, how about just showing up with the intention of understanding whether you can help somebody rather than trying to close them? And I think that's how I approach any call. It's like, I talked to a guy today and I thought we were going to talk about addiction, and we didn't end up talking about addiction. Oh, he actually wanted help becoming a consultant. And I told him, look, I'm happy to help you with this, but like, I'm not doing free calls. Like, I'll help addicts for free because that's something I feel called to do, because people were there for me when I needed the help, but I'm not going to help do business coaching and business consulting. That's a service. So I told him, here's what I can do. And I pointed him to Brand Builders Group, which is another mastermind that I came through to get started. I said, here's how I get started. I'll connect you with the right people there. Great. And if you do want to work with me, here's how you can do that. But I can't, unfortunately, just connect with you and look at your plan and do all this stuff. I'm too busy. Right. And so I think that the intention of, once I knew what he wanted, then I could point him to the right place. And I do get an affiliate commission from Brand Builders Group, full transparency. So I want people to go there, but they actually help me a lot. So for me, it's like, I just have to share my experience, and that's me selling for them. That's why the affiliate programs are so effective, because it's people who've gone through the program. So I guess I'm rambling, but my point is simple. You have a conversation with someone, you understand what they want or what they need, and then, and only then, do you position your products or services if you know you can help them. And then you can go hard at them. I mean, you don't have to like use tactics or cheesy closing techniques. But you say, look, this is the right thing for you. Help me understand kind of where you're at. Does this make sense? Would you agree this would help? What's holding you back? Is it finances? Is it, is it just reluctance? Like, let's talk about it. You have me on the phone right now. Let's talk about it. I don't see that as hard closing or pressure closing. I see that as just having an authentic conversation to get to the truth and figure out, is this make sense or does this not make sense? Right. So that's definitely something I advocate once I know I can help them, once I know it's a fit, but I will not ever pitch until I know I can help somebody.
That's a huge caveat, that if and only if you can help, right? If and only if you have a problem of theirs that you can solve, then do your thing, right? Go into your pitch. And you actually had a great line, or rather a great post a couple weeks ago, handful of weeks ago. The more you sell, the more you will repel.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
That goes exactly in line with what you were saying now.
Yeah, it's ironic, but I just think sales, is done wrong by so many people, and it's taught wrong by so many companies. And, I get it. You got targets to hit and revenue to hit, but honestly, the best way to hit your targets and revenue is actually to like just focus on focus on understanding what others want most, and show them how you, through use of your product or service, can help them achieve it. That's, to me, and there's two things. Number one is, what problem keeps them up at night? What challenge are they facing that's just a thorn in their butt? Or what goals are they responsible for? What metrics, what KPIs are they responsible for that, ultimately will help them achieve their goals? So it's their goals or their pain. One of the two. Help me achieve my goals. Help me solve the pain of the problem that is keeping me up at night, right? And if you just keep it that simple, like, sales is actually really easy. It's not about, like, most people just don't have enough conversations with clients because they don't work. And I say they don't work, they fool themselves into thinking they're working, but they're not, right? It's all bad habits and distractions. And I see it all the time. So when I coach people, it's really about how to establish discipline, how to establish focus, how to plan your day. Those kind of people get the best results. And it's not like I'm teaching them a selling skill or a closing tactic. I don't. I said, just have a conversation, but you have to make sure you're doing the right things to set up those conversations. So let's get your messaging right, your email right, your copy right, your script right, right? So it's like really the prospecting is where most people fall short because they just don't have enough conversations. But when you're in the conversation, I think it comes very naturally for people to have a conversation about other people rather than pitching. I think once I started focusing on like, I'm not going to pitch, I'm just going to, just talk about them and get to know them. I think everything changed, honestly. It just totally, because people want to talk about themselves. Like they don't want to hear about you. They want to talk about themselves. So that's what I'd say for anyone listening is if you want to have a really good sales experience or an interaction, think about what I just shared with Sam. Like the best salespeople, you don't feel like you're being sold to, right? They're guiding you, they're getting information to you, they're helping you, but ultimately it's something that you want anyway, and they're just helping make it easy by getting you all the information. So that's kind of the experience I had with Sam Ovens.
I'm gonna have to chop that up into a small video because I think you said all of that absolutely perfectly, and I love how you're willing to pitch for Sam now, right? Like for free, just because, you're having such a great experience, right? You're getting so much value. A mentor of yours, right, said, hey, Sam is legit, right? So it's not only you have to educate people with your content, right? You have to have a transparent and no pressure closing environment, but you also actually have to deliver the goods effectively at the end.
100%. I mean, that's the reality. It's like your best customers are going to be your best salespeople are going to be your customers. If you go to my page right now, I just launched this. I have Koniak.com, untap your sales potential. So if I go to untap, I'm going through this right now. I surveyed all of my clients and I asked them like, what's the value you're getting from the program so far? And I'm capturing all of these testimonials, people's videos, people's testimonials, people are sending, and it's going to be full. And I have a lot more to capture with the people coming in. We're building out, but this is like my best sales page is just customers talking about what they've gotten from the program. So I want to flood the gates with customer references. Hey, I sold this much more. I'm this much happier. I have more time with my family. I'm, healthier, like, cause it's stuff I teach people to do. So I truly do believe that no selling, here's the order of operations that I would say. Number one is product. Okay. And this is coming from a lifetime sales guy. Okay. Somebody who's devoted his whole life to outside B2B tech sales. So 19 years experience. And I'm telling you this, product number one. Okay, as an entrepreneur, you build a great product that delivers customer success. That's your focus, right? Number two, marketing. Okay, make sure you get customers sharing their success. Make videos of your customers. Make posts about the problem you solve. Be consistent with that. And then number three is sales, right? So if you have a great product, customers are going to be selling other customers for you. If you have great marketing, people are going to be aware of you and know about that, right? And there's so many ways to do marketing that I'm just literally scratching the surface, but I'm seeing it firsthand already. And then, and only then, do you even need a sales team? So my program's sold out. I don't even have a sales team now, which is crazy because all my people in the program, like all the other 99 founders, have setters and they have closers. And I'm like, I just have 1,300 leads. So again, I think there's so much value there in all my effort was on building the product, and it still is, right? The platform, the membership levels, the videos, the templates, the workbooks, all the things that come with my program. Like that's the value they're getting by joining versus just like hanging out with me. So the product is where you should focus is really what are they buying and making it as good as possible. Because if you don't have a good product, they're going to leave, they're going to attrit. And so anyway, that's, it's kind of like product-led growth, but I'm not giving it for free and letting people try it and then expand. I'm more using just building a great product that people can really rave about, that they want to stay in. In this case, the product being my mastermind. So
that's a great takeaway, is your customers should be your best salespeople. I love that quote. Ian, I could keep going all day long. Unfortunately, we're running a little bit short on time. So why don't you take a moment and plug something with the audience before we jump? I know you're constantly working on a bunch, and I know that Ian Koniak Sales Coaching, as we've heard, is doing very well. So why don't you tell us what else you're up to?
I think I did just plug my plug my product, but
Plug again, plug away.
fundamentally, look, if you want coaching, if you need help with mindset, habits, or selling skills, I have a mastermind that I run. There's about 80 of us in it now. I am going to start taking new clients. It's been sold out for this year, but I will start taking new clients in January is my next launch. Make sure you get on the wait list. Just go to untapyoursalespotential.com and you'll see a button to join the wait list, and you can get on the wait list. And that's the only way you're going to get access to work with me is through that wait list, because there are 1,300 people on, and I'm only going to have 70 spots. So scarcity at its finest, in full effect, and fully transparent. It is something that I expect to sell out. So get your butt on the wait list. Tell me why you should be in the program in the comments, and why you need help. And then I'll let you know when the spot's open. If you are not ready for coaching, or you just want some free stuff, go to my YouTube, youtube.com/Ian Koniak. I make videos every single week on habits, mindsets, and selling skills needed to thrive, specifically in SaaS and business to business sales. Or you can go to my newsletter, is just untapyoursalespotential.com/newsletter. Sign up and get the free videos delivered to your inbox every week. And that's all I got for you.
We'll go ahead and link your Untap Your Sales Potential site in the comments when we release this. Go follow Ian on YouTube. Go follow Ian on LinkedIn. Man, this has been like absolutely phenomenal. Feel very, very, very grateful that you hopped on here with me today. Like I said, I wish we had more time. I could have kept going, but
I got you, baby. You're my boy, Alex. Any time for you, man. Me and Alex have history. We ran together during my marathon training, and he approached me and humbly, wanted to be a running partner, and I'm like, absolutely, brother. So happy to help where I can.
It's also worth noting that Ian beat my marathon time too, and he's a competitive guy. So I know that he's real happy about that, as he should be. Guys, we unfortunately are. We're unfortunately out of time. We will see you next week. Ian, thanks again so much.
Take care, guys. Bye-bye, everyone.